All right. Anybody watching the beneficial, the BGI, Beneficial General Intelligence Conference 2024 on YouTube? I was listening to a little bit of the of Ben's keynote slash opening. Very interesting. Okay, let's see. Hello, 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 hello. Yeah, Bitcoin moved pretty heavy yesterday. When we were talking during the show, it was had just gotten around. It was like 52 flat, and it was angling towards 53. And as we see, that is no longer the case. It punched through 57. It kind of languished around 57. I think it's about 56 and change. It moved really far, really fast. You can expect some kind of stabilization as people just kind of figure out like the panic. We'll take a quick look. 56,850. Pretty good. 7.5%, or okay, 56.7. Man, if it just grabbed, if it just stabilized at 55, that would be pretty dramatic. So anyway, cool beans. Again, we're not going to really talk about price today, but it is interesting that it's all just kind of slowly melting up, and a lot of it seems like that as the cheap, easy to obtain OTC Bitcoin gets swallowed up, it kind of hoovers the price up. So this is more organic than maybe some other assets that we've seen lately that are not as organic. So yeah, you know what I mean. Okay, so if you have a question, put a little Q. Oh, we can do our little thing. Yeah, put a little Q in there or the word question, and that way we know that you have a question. We can knock it out. So we will slowly melt our way into class time. But little quick update. I think, unless Brandon corrects me, I think we're at 400, either 457, 450, somewhere around there on the digital investors. We did hit 60 private clients. So from this point forward, because we limit both of them. The DPCs we limit to 100 total. The digital investors we limit to 1,000. Makes sense, right? Like 1 in 10 would likely be accredited. Well, if you've been hanging out with us since the Monday morning days, then probably half of you are accredited by now, but that's neither here nor there. Until further notice, we're still doing the NFT thing. If you have a membership and you do and you get 5 of the NFTs at once, you snatch them, we will just tack on a year of your digital investor membership al gratis. So it's good. Save money and make money because you're getting paid for the NFTs. Rules. Okay, so that's kind of cool. I was going to explain real quick. I keep having in twin questions. So if you go here to Node Market, you guys are, many of you are aware of the Twin project, Twin protocol. You go to the exchange, you'll see a token. It's called in twin. It's actually the second token as far as volume. It's outperforming, at least on our little metrics here, it's outperforming AGIX. It's kind of funny. So it's pretty quiet on the buy side. On the sell side, it's kind of stable between 17.5 and 25 cents. Okay. But basically 17.5 to 20 cents, you can get a pretty good, it's not a lot of liquidity, is there? Okay, so let me explain what this trading pair actually is. The Twin Protocol project, they did a pre-TGE early fundraising kind of public round that was available to digital investors. And those tokens, when the Twin team does their TGE, their token generation event, you guys hear that term a lot, TGE, token generation events. When they make the token available, technically they generate the token a few days earlier and they test it and stuff. But when the token is dispersed through launch pads or whatever mechanism they use, then that's the TGE event. Now, usually on launch pads, there's some lockup scenario. For instance, I buy $5,000 worth, but I only get 6% or 8% or 10% a month, something like that. And there's usually some lockup period, something like that. Okay. The N twin token, which is the proxy token that we launched, which again, that money went to the team to push their roadmap further out. That token, 30 days after the TGE, is tradable 1-for-1. You can swap them 1-for-1. Matter of fact, we will put anybody that puts a sell order of N twin tokens 30 days after the token generation event, we will buy them back. We'll just go through the exchange and snatch those tokens up one by one. So it'll be even easier than a bridge because you won't have to go and worry about all this weird stuff. You'll simply post your order and we'll go and take it. Okay, so that's what that is. Many of you would say, oh, that creates some arbitrage opportunities. So for instance, like on day one, let's say that the TGE happens and the token on some dexes is 45 cents. And you see it over here at 20 cents. So you can buy the cheap one and sell the expensive one. Now, there's kind of a third thing to consider, and that's that many of you, especially if you are digital private clients, you have an early allocation of actual twin tokens that you would get on day one. It's a 6% allocation. So there, if you have both, you directly arbitrage. Does that make sense? So you would simply sell the expensive one and buy the cheap one. And that rebalancing, you're basically becoming like a mini liquidity pool, but you're doing an arbitrage operation. Does that make sense? So you would get the 45-cent one and you would sell it, and then you would take the difference and you would go buy the less expensive one, and then you would wait 30 days, swap it out, and you just made that money. You just made that money for free. So what would happen is, I would imagine pretty quickly people would sus to this. Maybe they won't, but people would figure that out during the TGE in those following days, and they would go over to Node Market and they would snatch up the N-Twin token and all that. Also, we will list both tokens at Node Market so that you can sell in terms of, and we'll do some walkthroughs and stuff so that you don't like get confused looking at N-Twin and Twin. And just remember, it's no different than USDC and USDT. The only determinant factor over those minor price variations is if people are pushing into one of the assets more than the other. You could see one at 99.9 cents and the other at $1.0001, something like that. But they are representing the same asset, and that's the twin token. Okay, great. You will use the twin tokens. It's a utility token. It's not a gambling token. You would use the token to build your twin, to fund your vault, and to do updates and things like that, because you're going to constantly be communicating with your twin as you build it. We're doing that right now. We're testing with mine. Brandon's going to start building his. So anyway, it's pretty cool. All right. I guess that's that. All right. AGIX token. I guess we should mention it. We saw that pretty dramatic run yesterday. Last week. Let's pull it up. Now we're at 68 cents. I think I thought it was highly suspect. Let's go last 30 days. You tell me if this looks natural. Let's go a little further. Let's go 90 days. Yeah. So you tell me, anybody here, just in the chat, just on your own, you tell me if that looks natural. Basically, we averaged about 30 cents, and then it went within a period of just a few days. Let's go to the 30-day. From the 15th, let's call it a period of 9 days. It went up to 84, almost 85 cents from 30 cents. Do you think that looks natural? Do you think that volume looks natural? Does anybody here think that looks at all natural? No, and don't get me wrong. I love the project, but that is inorganic growth. That's an inorganic pump. That's a pump. It's not a pump and dump. It's kind of like they probably got, and I don't know, I'm just speculating. They probably got a bunch of people together with cash. They pumped it on low liquid exchanges where a little bit of money goes a long way. For instance, you could go do this on Binance, but you're not going to move the needle. But if you pump it on enough other exchanges and people see it pumping on those exchanges, those APIs aggregate that, and what they do is they trick bots into buying. The bots start buying, then people start buying. So people trick the bots into tricking the people. So that's that. And that's pretty much the way I think it went. And because of the very awkward denials I got from some people I asked about it, I am as certain that you wouldn't trust lending money to Do Kwon or Alex Mashinsky. I am that certain that this is not organic. That being said, they pumped a good project. So I guess I'm not a hater, but on the other side, you do want to know the difference between what's real and what's fake, and that's the key, right? Like Baha, you said it, unnatural with no news, no breakthrough in technology, no nothing, just a lead up into this summit. So if you back that out and then you go and look at the current price, and you say, oh wow, we got 85 cents 4 days ago. Where are we now? And then you go, oh wait, we're 67 cents. So we're down, a clip. Like this is like a 30% difference. It says down 6%, but if you look how high it went and how high it's come down, it's given back. It's given back. Now, for those of you that took profit, and again, we're not talking about the money, but it was pretty clear that people should have skinned this a little bit. I told everybody that would listen it didn't feel right to me. I hope it goes. I hope all these projects do well. I hope all these projects go up organically. But when they don't, you are duty bound as an investor. If the information changes, you have to consider it. And I don't think it was excitement going into the conference. I think it was market-led marketing for the conference, because based on you wouldn't sell off now, right? Like you wouldn't sell off with the opening speech. You would sell off 3-4 days after the conference when the enthusiasm died down. So if anything, it should be more excited this week. Anyway, we'll see. My guess is they just ran out of money. There's only so much they could do. They ran out of money. These bots reset. These bots, they know when they're being gamed. And I saw some very simple-minded people telling me, oh, well, I won't go into it. Anyway, it's easy to game these things because remember, all of crypto is, it's three things. What is crypto, everyone? You guys know this. Illiquid assets on illiquid exchanges traded by sketchy individuals. Sketchy or dubious individuals. Did the Uni News paying a dividend affect AGIX? Nope, they are wholly unrelated, Sam. Cruising on Crypto asks about Node Market. If a person uses a Ledger X or similar device when posting a sell, when someone clicks the buy in order to complete, they would need the no. Listen. If you're using a ledger is just a complex and clever way of protecting the way you access your wallet. It's just a regular wallet. It's just the access point to that wallet. It doesn't mean you can't be pilfered. If someone has your private keys, passphrases, or you do a deal with someone, those tokens go away. It's no different than just spinning up a Bitcoin address, but it's the way that it's protected. It's kind of gated through this security. This is not an air-gapped cold storage, all this kind of stuff. It basically is just not an address. It's not a hot wallet like an exchange wallet. So I guess you don't need 55 confirmations. Now, what might make sense is to have a dedicated MetaMask wallet address that you use for buying and selling as a clearinghouse, and then you just push everything away to your other storage facilities. If you have one of those, like a Engrave, N0, some kind of cool high-tech thing, or your Ledger X or whatever. So you use that for holding. You shouldn't probably be buying and selling out of your holding wallet. So if you have a holding wallet that's behind, the gate of security that Ledger X provides, then don't be buying and selling out of there. Push those assets into a MetaMask wallet that you run dry every time there's not a transaction pending. Push the tokens there, make the sales offer, whatever. Does that make sense? You should be fine. Unless Brandon tells you otherwise, in which case follow what Brandon said. I was going to say this one is, I read on it. It's called black and white cookie. That's the flavor. It doesn't say what kind of cookie. It doesn't say black chocolate, white. It just says black and white cookie. So that is black and white cookie flavor. If you have an amazing coffee flavor, feel free to let us know. All right. In a bull run, Nick, can't it do that kind of move? Yes, but we're not really in a bull run, and we're especially not in a bull run with only one asset. And if you look at what happened, Fetch moved similarly, and there was some enthusiasm there, but look at all of the other Singularity Net assets that did nothing. And if there's no news, then all of it would move. So it can't be one of the other. It can't be like, oh, it's the bull run and only Bitcoin, Ethereum, and AGIX are in the bull run. Everything else is stagnant. That doesn't make sense. Okay, well, what about AGIX Fetch and Bitcoin and Ethereum? Well, Bitcoin and Ethereum didn't go up 65, 70% in a week. What did AGIX go up? 147% in the last 30 days, 34% in the last week. Giving up 7 of it today, which is really more because it went up, then came down, and the down is less than the up because it's a higher figure. You guys understand math. An OpenAI enthusiasm helped. It was a well-timed, orchestrated, low liquid exchange pump. There. Well played, sir. You put money in your pocket. No one ever got poor taking a profit, right? It's good for us and draws attention to other Singularity Net tokens. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it brings eyeballs. And it's not like they're pumping a Solana meme coin. I mean, this is a real project. So I'm not a hater. Good for you. Good for you. That's right. Illiquid assets on illiquid exchanges traded by sketchy or dubious individuals. Let's see. I think AGIX pumped when Sora was announced, just like it pumped a little over a year ago with ChatGPT. Yes, but it's the nature of the pump, Sean. It was the sustained nature of the pump, and everything should have pumped then. Why didn't Render has much more visibility than Singularity Net does? It didn't go anywhere. It went up a few pennies. You go down the list of assets. I mean, listen, I'm not a hater. I'm glad it happened, but don't try to convince yourself. Don't try to pull disparate pieces of marginally correlated logic and paper mache together an argument that convinces you of the 1% likelihood story. Because they're still talking about giant chip deals with NVIDIA and SoftBank and Tesla and like all these, and Apple and all these companies. So there's no less enthusiasm right now. Matter of fact, there's more based on NVIDIA cracking their numbers and things like that. Like I would just don't try to force yourself into the minority opinion and only like pluck out information that supports it. That's part of cognitive bias. Let's see. And there may be some weird strangleholds on Ledger X. I haven't used Ledger X in a long time. So, yeah. If he gets a new wizard hat. Now, that would be news. If you got a new wizard hat, that'd definitely be news. Okay. You're fighting with Binance for sending fetch without a memo. Yeah, certain exchanges may need a memo with fetch. I know you need a memo with XLM. You need a memo with Hedera Hashgraph. You need a memo, and usually the memo is the actual wallet, a wallet designator, because many of those exchanges just have a giant pool, and they don't assign you your own specific address. So you have to have a memo that tells the exchange where to push the tokens, or it is a damn headache. So if you're you may go look at where you're trying to send those, Randy. and how you're trying to send them. But Fetch, I don't remember if Fetch does or doesn't need a memo, but I know that a lot of assets do need memos. I know XRP does. By the way, did you guys see they sent out another flyer about the XRP lawsuit? So that is proceeding forward. Both it's in a federal court, and it's in a California. I think it's in federal court in California, because it was filed in a few venues, but California is probably the preceding one because they have seems like the most pro investor legal climate at the federal level. We'll see. Thoughts on where Algorand? Well, we're not really talking price. I'm not going to get into where this or that might do. I can talk about the team. It's been an abject failure. For somebody who contributed so much to the whole, like, crypto in general, which is Silvio McCauley, that is the worst team on the planet. The absolute worst. I mean, not the worst. There's worse teams. It's the worst layer one. It's the worst layer one. And they have some amazing tech. They have, look, Tim Roughgarden, one of probably my favorite game theory, computer science, lecturer, instructor, coach. I mean, this guy has Columbia University, Stanford DNA. This is he's with them. He consults for Algorand. And they still can't get shit done. So it's just, I don't know what's going on over there. But I know that they're not doing deals, or we'd hear about it. And they have this weird scientists. We don't need your money, and we don't want your opinion. Kind of smart. I don't know. Kind of scientist, elitist, kind of dickish, where you almost want to go flat world on them just to drive them crazy. But as a protocol, they have some really cool tech. But when you thumb your nose, or you snub the people that support you, because these guys wouldn't be anywhere if many of us out there hadn't purchased their token. There is no Algorand without the public sale. So once you do that, to then look down on the public, kind of like, oh, you idiots, you know nothing. Well, no, you know nothing, because you need to appeal to us, right? We are your paycheck. Every one of those people that's making money is because of us. So the fact that they feel like they have zero obligation to meaningfully and thoughtfully communicate with the public about and I know they have their little chat groups and they push out a little bit of stuff. This is true. It's not zero marketing, but it's zero effective marketing, as evidenced by the nothing burger they've done for a long time. So they will probably melt up during this bull run, but they will probably mostly miss the bull run. And my guess is if they don't stage some massive recovery, 2-3 years from now, there just is there's no Algorand in any meaningful way. It'll be a discussion where we would say, oh, remember Algorand? And it'll be a little penny play like VeChain or something like that. Which VeChain actually caught a little bit. It was up to 5 cents yesterday. Where is that little sucker? Where is that sucker? There it is. It got to 5 cents yesterday. Woo woo. So it's having an okay run. But anyway, yeah, it'll just be another VeChain. It'll be another protocol that no one cares about. And already, I mean, kind of no one cares about it already. So, let's see. You missed selling AGIX by 0.1 at Node Market. Well, I mean, you can't really look at it that way. You didn't miss selling it. Someone just didn't buy your tokens. If you look at the enthusiasm, you gotta set the price. But you know what? That was your selling price. You wanted 79 cents. If you had wanted 76 cents, you'd have been cashed out. You can't look at what happened after the fact. You did what made the most sense at that time. So maybe you learned a lesson from that. Maybe if the market's at 75, 76, 77, 79 cents, you don't sell it right at the top. You take the win and you bag it. Here we go again, Sean. You're fighting the wrong battle, buddy. Because again, data is not really on your side on this one. I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to kind of concoct an argument that feels good, and it's a weak one. Not that you're not implying or employing good game theory, but you're not looking at the totality of AI assets. You're looking at two of them, and they kind of moved, and then Fetch calmed down, and AGIX continued to pump on unrealistic bullshit volume for 4 more days. So you can spin it any way you'd like. And 123 to 107 is not the same as 85 cents to 67 cents. So, and Sean, I'm not bagging on you. You got to make your own decisions. And I get it. I would love for this to be a real organic move in the price of AI assets, but you got to look at all of them. And yes, the Sora news pumped most assets, even Render, even crappy ass Render. Render probably is going to come out and say that they do pictures now. We do text to everything, text to infinity. But it stopped moving. Everything stopped moving. Even Fetch started backing off, and AGIX did not. And no one. Look, Linda. Outside of the 174 of us, there isn't a person on the fucking planet that knows what the AGIX token is. Nobody knows. It's just that it was randomly. It came up in the KuCoin little news that pops out. AGIX, a top performing asset. Blah blah blah. Other than that, no one on earth knows what this token is. So you would expect that since that's the case, the entire space would go up, and the entire space did not go up. In the beginning, in the first few days, because go look at NewNet, even Crap Gito. Go look at all of those AI assets. Those first couple days after the Sora news, everything went up. Everything AI went up, and then stopped. And then AGIX. 6 more days in a row, AGIX. 7 days, 9 days, AGIX. And then the conference starts and they run out of money. The enthusiasm stops now. So I don't know, man. And I was even told by somebody that it's going to go up even more. How would anyone know that? How would anyone know that? No one knows what's going to happen. It could go down to 4 cents. It could go up to $4.40. No one knows. But for someone to be so confident and self-assured even reassured me that I was right. But I'm not a hater. I got a lot of tokens. I just don't like inorganic growth because it usually leaves people. What happens is inorganic growth. It hoovers up a bunch of people that get FOMO'd into it. Did anybody here buy when they saw AGIX going up? Did anybody here panic into it? No, there's a video. Howard, I want you to go to YouTube after this, and I want you to look up Listen to Me, Linda. I think that's how you get it. It's this little kid, like dressing his mom down he's like wearing a diaper. It's really funny. Yeah, good work taking a profit. Good work. Yeah, that's why you want to have fixed rules for taking profit. You want to have fixed rules. Because look, the goal here is that everybody reaches that kind of financial apogee, that escape velocity, right, where you don't need too much more propulsion. And I'm hoping that you guys find that. And anybody that got out big, better, if you're accredited, you better be a digital private client. Don't be a dick. Give me 2 seconds. I will be right back. Boom. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I'm directing workers and stuff. There's some little plumbing quagmires we're trying to deal with. If you get a smart home and it manages the heat of the water, getting it to actually give you hot water is a whole thing. It's like a whole thing. And for like a month, we can only get it's telling you where in the house you can get hot water, which is a goddamn nightmare. So anyway, AGIX is up 150%. Is the price still inflated? Absolutely. It is quite inflated. So yes. All right. No, Kitty's good. Although I do have to go put Kitty up as these worker guys go around checking smart plumbing and all this kind of bullcrap. Anyway, yeah, those are the main things I wanted to talk. Bitcoin seems to be following its path. Ethereum is very interesting as it goes into the ETF decision, which I think is a punt, and then a green light in August. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. We will probably cut this one off so I can do some traffic direction. Otherwise, try not to react to these markets, especially if you've been loading and building your portfolio over the last many months, some of you years. This is not when you want to kind of panic into things. Yeah, and compute is coming. We are days, not months away from compute launching. So that's going to be nice. A lot of cool stuff happening. It's a cool time to be in the crypto space. It's an even cooler time to have been invested in the crypto space. So now you're sitting in a pretty good spot. Most of you probably have your portfolios are as big or bigger than they've ever been. But it's only real when you take profit. So, well, no, on a house of this square footage, it would probably save $2,000 or $3,000 a month, which is money. Those are little chunks of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Anyway, be good, everyone. Go slow. Don't fat thumb anything. And remember, illiquid assets on illiquid exchanges being traded by sketchy or dubious individuals, and everybody is trying to steal your shit all the time. Everybody, just assume it. Former licenses, get them. Get your licenses. Get your licenses so that you get your free year. Oh, you need licenses. Okay, got it. Yeah. Anyway, off you go. Off you go, everyone. Off you go.